Let's cut through the smoke. There's a moment most women dread, and it has nothing to do with you yelling, chasing, or arguing. No, it's quieter, colder, more unnerving. It's when your attention ... vanishes, not temporarily. Not in some petty, passive-aggressive way. I'm talking about when your emotional gaze withdraws completely, when the light she was basking in suddenly dims, and she's left staring at shadows that used to dance for her. Let's be real, we live in a culture that teaches men to orbit women to spin like satellites around their moods, needs, and validation. But what happens when the gravity breaks? What happens when the man detaches, not out of spite, but out of clarity? That's when things start to crack. That's when the illusions break down. And that's exactly what we're digging into today. Welcome to Stoic Edge, where we don't chase love, we understand it. Where we don't beg for attention, we reclaim our own. If you've ever been in a situation where you gave her everything, and she responded with indifference, this is for you. Today, we're exposing what really happens when a woman senses your attention slipping away. Not because you're playing a game, but because you're waking up. Let's get into it. The first shift is almost always subtle, but unmistakable. She starts talking more. Not the usual light banter or casual jokes. I'm talking about sudden deep dives into your emotional world. Conversations that feel like they came out of nowhere. Texts at odd hours. Just checking in. Had a dream about you. Where's your head at? At first glance, it might feel sweet, but underneath, it's panic. Dressed as curiosity, see, when you were offering your attention freely. Checking in, planning dates, giving compliments, letting her feel your energy. It became normal. She didn't question it. In fact, she might have started feeling entitled to it. But then you stopped. Not dramatically, not bitterly. You just started redirecting your focus inward. Your goals, your peace, your mission. And she felt it like a power outage in the middle of a dance. She was choreographing, and so now she starts talking. But not to connect, to reconnect, to control. She's trying to replug into that circuit of attention she got used to. To test if your emotional light is still wired into her switch. Here's the key. Don't confuse curiosity for care. Don't assume that her reaching out suddenly means she values you deeply. Sometimes she's just trying to reclaim her emotional throne, not rebuild a kingdom with you. Let her speak, but stay silent inside. Let her chase, but stay still. That stillness is your weapon now. The second move is ancient, and yet it still works. On the unaware, when a woman realizes your attention is gone, she tries to draw you back in. Not with connection, but with distraction. This usually shows up in a few classic forms. Social media bursts with activity. New photos, new outfits, new adventures, men you've never heard of. Suddenly show up in her stories. Indirect updates get passed along to you through mutual friends. She's been seeing someone new. She's out every weekend now. She looks great. These days, it's all a production. She's not doing this for her. She's not doing it because she's thriving. She's doing it because she knows you're not watching, and she needs to believe you will. Understand something critical. If a woman is truly over you, she doesn't perform. She simply moves on. Performance is proof of absence. She's trying to become the peacock you once admired, flaunting feathers, hoping you flinch. But your job is not to react. Your job is to observe. Every time you resist the urge to check her page, you take back energy. Every time you scroll past her attention-seeking photo without a second thought, you rebuild your frame, because deep down she knows what she's doing. And if she can make you feel something, jealousy, insecurity, fear, she wins. But when you feel nothing, when her sparkle doesn't move your center, that's when she starts spiraling, not because she wants you, but because she no longer owns the mirror you used to see yourself through. That's power. That's detachment. That's freedom. Here's something you need to understand and never forget. Your attention feeds her ego. Whether she admits it or not, It's not just about love or desire. It's about validation. Every compliment you gave, every call you made, every plan you suggested, it built a shrine in her mind, and your attention was the incense burning in front of it. When that incense stops, silence sets in, so her ego kicks in violently. You'll start to notice strange behavior, arrogance, dismissiveness, a sudden too cool for you attitude that feels off. She might say things like, "I don't even have time for men right now. I've got 10 guys trying to talk to me. I'm just focusing on me." Sound familiar? That's not confidence. That's overcompensation. She's not secure. She's scrambling. She's trying to fill the hole your attention once plugged with her own ego-driven narrative. But here's the thing. You don't need to fight it. You don't need to one-up her. You don't need to match her energy, because when you stay grounded, when you remain unaffected, her ego starts to run out of gas. Because egos are loud when they're empty, and quiet when they're full. Let her be loud, you be still. That's the masculine advantage. Asterisk, asterisk, the fourth response. Inconsistency. Hot one day, cold the next. Sweet in the morning, indifferent by night. She becomes unpredictable, but not in the mysterious, alluring way. In the disoriented way. This behavior confuses most men. One day she's sending and thinking of you texts. The next, she's ghosting for days. And you start thinking, what am I missing? Did I do something wrong? No, brother, you did something right. You pulled back, and now, she's confused. Not because she doesn't care, but because she doesn't know if you still do. So she starts poking, she warms up. To test your temperature. If you respond, she pulls back, reassured she still has influence. If you don't, she acts cold, masking vulnerability as nonchalance. This is the female version of sonar. Ping, echo, signal received or not. Your job isn't to decode every message. It's to stop being an antenna for signals that no longer align with your frequency. When she plays hot and cold, stay temperate. When she zigs and zags, stay on course. Your masculine essence isn't meant to chase unpredictability. It's meant to anchor chaos. And trust me, she feels that anchor slipping. When your attention is no longer hers to command, she'll start poking at your boundaries. She wants to know, can she still get a rise out of you? Can she still make you break character? This might show up as teasing, sarcasm, or jokes that feel more like digs. It could be flaky behavior, canceling plans, responding late, or playing the maybe game, just to see how you respond. She might even try to provoke jealousy directly. This guy at work asked me out. I laughed so hard. That kind of thing. These are emotional landmines. She's planting them to see where you'll step and how loud you'll explode. Why? Because if you react, she wins. Your reaction tells her, you still care. You're still affected. I still have power. This is where most men fail. They either overreact, trying to assert dominance, or they underreact, by over-accommodating, just to keep the peace. But you stay unmoved. She pushes a button, it doesn't light up. She pulls a lever, nothing shifts. And in that moment, she realizes the game has changed. You're no longer a player, you've become the board. You'll notice a strange quiet after the storm. No texts, no stories, no sudden deep talks. She disappears, at least on the surface. But this isn't true detachment. This is performative indifference. It's an act of self-preservation, disguised as strength. See, if your silence was a weapon, her silence is a mirror. She's not ignoring you because she's moved on. She's ignoring you to be noticed. She wants you to wonder. She wants you to panic. She wants you to say, is she really over me? Because if you do, if you reach out even once, she wins. It confirms her detachment had weight. That her silence sparked anxiety. That she still has gravity. But here's the truth she doesn't want to admit. If she truly didn't care, she wouldn't need to show she doesn't care. She wouldn't need to flex distance. Real indifference doesn't need an audience. This move is a bluff. She's retreating into silence, hoping it echoes, hoping you can't handle your own detachment. And that's where most men fail. They interpret this false withdrawal as finality, as if she's truly cut the cord. And in a scramble to restore what once was, they return. They fold. They reoffer the attention she was addicted to, but not you. You stand still, because true power is not in reactivity, it's in restraint. Let her wear her fake detachment like a crown. You know it's made of paper. The longer she wears it, the more it dissolves under the pressure of your stillness. Eventually, she realizes she's playing chess against a wall that doesn't move. And that wall is you, asterisk. Here's the final move, and the most powerful, when every tactic has failed. The silence, the seduction, the ego, the manipulation. She breaks not always, loudly. Sometimes it's a simple message, a voice note, a confession over coffee. But in that moment, she drops the act, and she says what you always deserved to hear. I didn't appreciate you. I miss what we had. I didn't realize what I was doing. It's the thing you once craved. The closure, the validation, the truth. But here's what stings it comes to. Late, because you've changed. You're no longer the man waiting for her words. You're the man who became full in her absence. And now that her truth has arrived, you no longer need it. That's the final reversal. The moment she gives you everything,